Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monday, the 6th of June. This year has gone extremely fast. You expecting to see Graham today? He was here. Genuinely, he was here. He's been called into a meeting last second, which is obviously why you're only seeing me this afternoon. So he may end up popping on in maybe like the next hour, half an hour, 45 minutes. Who knows? But as it stands, it's just your boy. For the next 45 minutes or so. Obviously, we don't want to be going on too long as you're only hearing my voice. But I do appreciate you all getting in here. I say nice and early. I know I'm fully aware it's 20 to 2. We have been sorting out this morning the subathon stuff ready for this weekend. So, yeah, but as the week goes on, it's probably going to get even later and later because when I eventually go back into the office tomorrow, we need to sort out all the streaming PCs, make sure all the graphics are in, make sure that the studio is set up for us to be able to do subathons and get people in the Discord and have the consoles set up and blah, 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 blah. You guys don't need to know this. All you need to know is that this is the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves, and we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. Ish. As said, it's 20 to 2. But the work comes first. This is a side gig for us. We will go live each and every single weekday with the scoop between the times of 10 and maybe 5. We will be going live. That's just how it is. I said we do work in the video games industry, and obviously our day jobs come first, and then eventually we get to come on and speak to you guys, which I can see that there's West in the chat. I can see Beans is there. Taze Babs in there. He says, hi, Bib. Good evening to you now, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Tito's in here early as well, so Graham must be back-ish, even if it is more-ish than normal. And then like a vibrating Phil Jones. Lake's in here as well. Gamescom hype. So I hope that we're all having a fantastic morning so far. I mean, it's afternoon now. It's back after a 4-day weekend. Obviously, at weekends, myself and Graham, I'll go live on a Sunday. He'll go live on a Saturday. Take it from us. We didn't go live over the weekend because we was relaxing. We are shaping up this week to potentially go 24 hours streaming. 24 hours? I know there's people that have done that before, but my body can't take this now. I've had a child. I used to be able to not sleep for not days, but for a long time I used to be able to go without sleep. I could function on 5 hours sleep, no problems. 4 hours sleep, no problems. 3 hours, you're pushing it a little bit. 2 hours, I'm probably going to be a zombie. But not being able to sleep for 24-hour period, that's ridiculous. And it's in your hands, guys. It's in your hands. I genuinely don't think that you guys will get us over the 13-14 hour mark. I don't believe in yous. I don't think you've got it in yous to be able to do that. Obviously, there is incentives to make us get over that. And if we do, absolutely fantastic. Community meet up, get the Barbie out. Get the beers out, do you know what I mean? We'll be all sound, we'll be great. But I don't think you guys have got the capabilities to be able to do it. I don't think you'll want to do it. 24 hours of PES 20 for charity. I mean, no, but thank you very much for the suggestion. That'll be put in the no pile. Do 12 hours, then replay the first 12. Now, that is a genius idea. That is the kind of ideas that will get you into the community barbecue. And I appreciate that. Because I will just need to press the button and then I can go sleep on the couch for a bit. No, sorry, yes, you did it. Yes, you did it. That's it. You was the first person that I thought of when I thought of the 24-hour stream. I remember I was actually in your chat for most of it. Whether or not I was asleep, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's a grueler. It's genuinely a grueler. I don't know. We've got enough games. I'm not going to share anything with you because we are actually going to be getting graphics made up. That's literally what we was doing this morning, planning out the entire day. So we are going to get some graphics sorted out, so that we can share them to show you what we have planned for the day. Obviously, you already know the sub goals and stuff like that by now. 300 is a pipe dream. It goes up to 1,000 on there. We're just padding that out with other things. But even to get 300, that is genuinely a pipe dream. I think we can make it. I think we'll come close. Obviously, this is based off of your guys' generosity and whether or not we want to be able to get a community meet up later on this year. I obviously want that. People have been asking for this for the longest time. It's just whether or not it becomes feasible for you guys as well as us, because ultimately it's going to come out of our pockets, and it's a lot of money, which is obviously why we don't usually do this kind of thing. But you guys want it, and you said that you'd help out. It's essentially why we've started it. Without you guys helping us along the way, I don't think it would happen, which is why I'm a little bit skeptical of whether or not it will. But I can see you guys getting us over the line. I can see that you guys want to come up to the studio. You want to be able to drink yourselves into oblivion or fall asleep on the couch. By the way, the meeting room is being sorted out as we speak. It's going to look amazing compared to what... I mean, some of you guys may have been up to the studio. Beans has been to the studio that's in this chat. I think he might have been the only one. So from what you remember it looking like, it hasn't changed, apart from we put an arcade cabinet in the corner. It's going to look dramatically different. Like, as of today, I think was the finishing touches being put on it. So that should be interesting what you guys make of that as and when you come up. Absolutely fantastic. So, mate, it's going to look so different. Believe me, I'm looking forward to going in tomorrow to see it. The early hours were fantastic. Big Zombie Monkey stuck with me the whole time. He's a legend, though. He is an absolute legend. I don't know how he manages to do it. Obviously, he's got 2 kids as well, and he managed to stay awake all that time. Hero. Newfound respect for the guy. Shave Graham's hair for subs. Do you know what? I would love to. But I also think that if it was roles reversed, no one's touching this Barnet apart from my Turkish mate who sorts me out with a nice little beard trim and shape up as well. My hair's my identity. Do you know what I mean? It's like shaving my beard off, not going to happen. I look a dick with no beard. Oh, an even bigger dick with no beard. It's no one's touching it. It's not going anywhere. How much to shave you one eyebrow, baby? I mean, to be fair, my eyebrows are blonde. It's very difficult to make them out already. So if they end up going, then I don't think it's any loss. JMK's in here as well, 24 hours ish. I mean, the choice is up to you guys. I think it'll be like 13, 14 hours, which is more than enough for me because I'll be able to go back and sleep all day. But I think out of general curiosity from your side, I think you might end up pushing us over. I'm not too sure. I've still got my heart set on 13, 14 hours, which I still think is a lot for me because I have to, after like an hour and a half, 2 hours max, I have to stand up and walk around. Like the intermission screen goes on. I have to go and get a drink, rehydrate, sort my posture out because my back starts to hurt after a while. So 14 hours is a little bit difficult. 24. Shit. It's a bit crazy. But anyway, that's this weekend. This is right now. Welcome to the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. We go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. Obviously, it's well over that now. But you can find this podcast on any podcast service or major podcast service, shall we say, which could be iTunes, it could be Spotify, SoundCloud, or Google Play, as well as any on-demand service, including Twitch and YouTube after the fact. This show is built around you guys. It's built around me pulling together the news and then thinking of good topics to be able to talk about. Then it's fueled by you guys reaching back out to us, giving us your thoughts and opinions. We can then give our thoughts and opinions on your thoughts and opinions and the live show. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, you can catch up on demand as and when you can. Just like over 130,000 of you guys have done so far, so we very much appreciate that. Wes said, I'm going to have such a lovely sleep during the 24-hour stream. Fantastic. You should have a split screen, one half Graham playing PUBG and the other half you playing Fortnite. Well, we have got those 2 games are in the schedule. It's just how I can figure out how the studio can look whilst we're playing those games, as well as when you guys want to join in the party, how I can make your voices come through at the same time. I've got a funny feeling that it may be one mic in the studio. It might be a one mic setup for those games because you can't have 2 mics plugged into the same Discord. So it's all technical stuff that I can work out as we're going along. So that's not a problem. Believe me, we have put on shows much bigger than this and we've managed to get it running. So in terms of technical stuff, I just need to figure all of that out. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I think I'm making more of a meal of it than it probably needs to be. I may be able to just use the lapel mics and get them out for the first time. We haven't used them before. The battery doesn't last forever on them, so I could just have 2 on standby as well. Again, technical stuff, you guys don't need to know this. I'm just basically just thinking out loud and problem solving in my own head. But appreciate that. Talking of Fortnite, have you checked out the new season? Yes, I have. I played 3, won 1 yesterday. Very impressed with it so far. I like the new areas. I basically won't be playing it now until Saturday, so that I have 2 weeks of challenges to be able to crack on with as and when. I did win 1 game out of 3, and I only got up to like level 2.5, which I find bizarre. But obviously, because there isn't that many challenges at the moment, the XP just isn't flowing through. So like in one match towards the end, if you hadn't played it, you could tick off like 7 or 8 challenges in one go because there were so many to go through. And obviously, I'm playing it in real time at the moment, so it's a little bit more difficult. It gives me Avatar vibes. Yep, I agree. I think I agree with that. I can tell you right now, Graham won't let you anywhere near his hair unless he's mellowed in the last 5 minutes. To be fair, I am with him on that. No one touches the hair apart from me and my Turkish mate. That's it. Level 5 at the minute, got my reality flower planted, says JMK. Again, all this stuff, hopefully you guys will be able to jump in with us on Saturday and be able to carry us, for instance, and get us flying through these levels as well, just to try and keep the energy up, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes when you're doing these long-term streams, the stream is probably flagging after about 8 or 9 hours. They end up getting the boost from people joining them on in the games, or they'll get fucking takeaway pizza brought in, or they just took down 3 cans of Monster in one sitting. Do you know what I mean? They just need that. They need that substance abuse, shall we call it, to be able to get them through 45 packets of Pro Plus. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to going through some Fortnite stuff. I'm basically just leaving it on the back burner now until this weekend, so I can just fly through it and have a good old time playing it. But anyway, that's not the lead story for today. There is no Fortnite news. Some of you will be very glad to know. We are going to be kicking off the show with the fact that Diablo, to complete the game, Diablo Immortals, I might add, could cost you $110,000. You heard that correctly. For you to be able to buy Diablo 3 is probably about 20 quid now. But to play the brand new Diablo Immortal mobile game, I might add, but you can play it on your PC, and as I was this weekend, and it's very good on that, could potentially cost you $110,000 as it stands. And this has been written by Jordan Midler over at VGC, and he states that maxing out the Diablo Immortal character could reportedly cost you up to $110,000. The game's highest tier currency appears to only available via loot boxes. A new analysis has suggested that it could cost players up to £110,000 in order to fully upgrade a character in Diablo Immortal via microtransactions. In a video by BEVAN News, as reported via GameRant, its analysis suggests that the higher tier legendary items could be a premium currency in the game, which is used to upgrade a character in the post-game. Can't currently be earned by players who don't play for them without using real money. Thus, fully upgrading a post-game character would cost you $110,000 worth of gems, the analysis claims. What makes this worse is that the current players can't purchase legendary gems outright. Instead, they are dropped from legendary crests, which are in the game's loot boxes. As explained on a Reddit thread, the amount of money necessary to complete a max out a character could be more than previously estimated, as there is a whole new level of upgrades that unlocks once a player has managed to get their 5-star gems ranks to 10. Doing this estimated to cost up to $40,000 in loot boxes, according to the thread. Once a player does this, they unlock resonating boards, which then, while not yet achieved, were shown in preview images, which seem to imply that a player would have to repeat the process of upgrading their 5-star gems to rank 10 several times, adding further potential thousands of dollars should the user choose to spend. Diablo Immortal's loot boxes have seen the game not launch in the Netherlands or Belgium due to the strict loot box laws in those regions. The game, which launched on mobile and as an open beta and PC this week, was briefly made available to pre-register on the Apple and Google stores in the Netherlands and Belgium, was but removed after a few days. After asking why this was the case, Dutch site Tweakers received a reply from Activision Blizzard's communication managers of Bulenex, which confirms the games would not be available in Belgium or Netherlands. According to the communications manager, this is related to the current operation conditions for the games in those countries. In 2018, we probably don't need to read this, so all we know is that loot boxes aren't available in the Belgium region as well as the Netherlands due to gambling laws in their area. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have actually been playing quite a bit of this game over the weekend on my mobile using my Razer Keisha. I mentioned it in our Discord. I don't know if Tito picked up on it because obviously he uses his too. And I've also been playing this on PC. It feels like a very flawless progression system in terms of you being able to move from your mobile device over to your PC, log into the same server. There you have it. Your character's ready and waiting for you to be able to play the game. Love that. Genuinely feel like that is the future of video games. A game that might not be created mobile first and then ported over to a PC, but a game that can fluctuate between graphical settings, frame rate settings, resolution, and stuff like that as we go along. You play it on your mobile, you play it on your PC or your console, and there you have it. You can play it whenever you want using the same account. I genuinely feel like that is the future of video games. You can do that with Rocket League, you can do that with Fortnite. Diablo Immortal is the next stage in that as well, and I honestly, if they can work out all the gremlins within the systems, I do genuinely feel like that would be the future of video games. However, those games all seem to have one particular thing about them, which is obviously the loot box setting. That has been taken out of Fortnite. As far as I'm aware, they don't have that in Rocket League now either. I could genuinely be wrong on that one.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Asim coming in, dropping the resub. It has been a while, and congratulations to you, Mr. T, on getting engaged this weekend. Honestly, when are we meeting up again? This needs to happen, whether or not it's down south or we're coming back up to Manchester. If we're meeting in the middle at Birmingham or something like that, I don't care. It needs to happen pretty soon. And again, congratulations to you and the missus on getting engaged. It's going to be amazing. If I don't get an invite to the wedding, I'm never going to speak to you again. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, in terms of games being able to be played everywhere, I do genuinely feel like that is the way forward. However, there will always be repercussions. There will always be something on the outside which is making this a lot more difficult to be in the mainstream, and that is apparently having to complete the game spending $110,000. I don't believe that anyone is going to even come close to that. I do admit, sorry, let me rephrase that. There will be whales that have so much money. See you later, Stuart. It's all right, Stuart. You're just on stream now. Everyone's just seen him. That's my father-in-law, by the way. He goes away tomorrow. But anyway, $110,000. Do I believe that someone is going to spend that amount of money? Probably not. I don't believe $110,000 is an achievable amount of money that anyone is going to be able to play. Me and Tito most certainly, well, Tito might be able to now. He's just got a promotion. But there is no way that I'm affording $110,000 to be able to reach max rank on this, to be able to get the best of the best of the best. Sir, with honours. I don't believe that's ever going to be the case. However, from what I am playing so far and the enjoyment that I'm getting from the game at level 25 maybe, I haven't come up to a point yet where I think, do you know what, this is getting too difficult. I need to put some money in to be able to get better gear and better weapons to be able to go further on. I haven't got to that point yet. That may come when I come to going into raids and things. But as it stands, I'm having a good time playing this game, and that is what it comes down to for me. I imagine that this will be a loot box heaven as the game continues. You will have to be able to get the best gear to be able to move further on into the dungeons. $110,000 isn't anything close to what I will be putting into this game. If there's the battle pass system is probably the only thing that I will be spending money on. Having the ability to be able to tick stuff off a checklist and be able to get armor and gear that way, and be able to get coins, be able to get whatever it is that I end up getting from it, I'm happy doing that. But in terms of being able to reach max rank, I haven't done that on Elder Scrolls Online. I haven't done that on World of Warcraft. I don't do that on Pro Evo. I don't do that on FIFA. I definitely don't do this on Fortnite. So this will not be something that will be even in the realm of possibility for me to be able to try and skip through and get the best stuff as fast as possible. I could spend money on Fortnite right now and get to level 100 without playing the game if I wanted to. I could skip 25 levels if I really wanted to. I'm never going to do that because that takes away the front of the game, especially from dungeon crawlers like this, where you want to go through dungeons, you want to be able to try and get as better gear as you can, take down the bosses as fast as possible, blah 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 blah. You all know the deal by now, and what a dungeon crawler is and what a Diablo game is. You don't need me to be able to tell you this. However, I'm enjoying the game so far. I feel like this is definitely a little bit of bad press that they are going to be getting from this. And I say a little bit. People will obviously read this headline, and a headline that I have made for clickbait purposes. £110,000 to complete a video game seems outrageous. It genuinely is outrageous. Do I think that many people will be paying that to reach the end goal of the game? No. I do believe that they will be looking at this and going, do you know what, we might change that down. It might cost you 75 grand to be able to complete the game. Do I think that people will pay that? No, I don't. I believe that more people will probably be able to buy skins or whatever it is, or buy armor itself. Do I believe that they'll spend this? I don't. I feel like this is just a ceiling amount. If you really wanted to get as far as you can, as quickly as possible, I do feel like there will be a way for you to be able to get there. And I did read in another article that for you to be able to get to the same point as someone who spent $110,000, it will take you 10 years to get to that point. If I'm playing this game in 10 years' time, there is probably something wrong with me. I haven't played one game consistently for 10 years, ever. Caveat, if you're talking about Pro Evo 2 or you're talking about Resident Evil or something like that, I'm talking about continuously live service games that I might just play 2 or 3 times over a course of a year. That doesn't count. I'm talking about a game that I actively, when I want to play something, pick it up and play it constantly. That isn't going to be this game. This is going to be the game that I am on a train somewhere, or I am sat downstairs in the front room, or I think I've got a spare half an hour, let's do a little bit of grinding on that. I'm not playing Fortnite, I'm not playing Pro Evo or eFootball, I'm not playing PUBG with you guys, do you know what I mean? That's just not going to happen. And I feel like that is the same for most people as well. But anyway, moving through the comments then. Let me go up a little bit. Levels are so slow at the minute, says Beans regarding Fortnite. Yep, level 5 at the minute, got my reality flower plant, it says GMK. Bean says, fuck that, I'm playing it now, might close it. I don't think you should. Because if you're enjoying the game as it stands and you're playing it casually, this is aimed for the hardcore that want to get to the end raids, that want to get to the biggest dungeons and get stuck in there, that might be dying constantly, that might not be partying up with many people that are a similar ability. This will just be aimed at the top tier amount for shock value, which is obviously why I've included it in this. If you're playing it casually, you won't even feel the dent in your wallet because you won't be paying for anything. Atido says, wait, a mobile game that's all flogging extortionate microtransactions? I'm shocked. It will you. Well, not that shocked. Shocked it will you. Well, not that shocked. Does anyone ever expect anything less from mobile games? But I thought they said that it was all loot in the loot, albeit it drops in minuscule amounts, says Tito. JK says, congrats, Asim. Tito says, hey, Don Juan, Asim Tanvir, congratulations. It'll happen soon, thanks. Hello, JMK and Tito says, Asim, I can't and I won't, says Tito. I'll quit Marvel Strike Force because it was greedy time sink. I think I'm level 25 too. Necromancer is full. I can't remember the character that I've used. Basically is a tank, essentially. Asim says, currently setting up my Steam Deck. Excited to play PES 5 and 6 up on it. That's me set. Mate, I'm jealous of that. You know what? I actually held a Steam Deck in the office last week for the first time because Mark brought his in, and I thought, you know what, I would love to have my PES 2020 Master League save on this because it had all the bells and whistles, it had all the overlays like Sky Ones, BT Sport. Then I got to play in the Etihad and stuff like that. I mean, you can do that stuff on PES 6, to be fair. But yeah, the PES 2020 Master League that I had on that was probably the best one I had with like all the gameplay enhancements. So there wasn't as many long balls, and the referees actually give you a card if you crippled someone, do you know what I mean? They had all that stuff. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of intrigued. I do actually want one, but I feel like I can't afford the like 380 quid that it costs at the moment, so I'll wait for them to come down in price or when I can afford one. Excited having done my research into the emulation options. That's always what interests me as well. But yeah, in terms of Diablo Immortal, I feel like for the most part, this isn't aimed at us. This isn't aimed at the people who are going to be picking this up and playing it for half an hour, 45 minutes at a time. This is aimed at the people who will play nothing but this, that have a lot of income that they want to spend on a video game. £110,000. I haven't spent that on any game ever, obviously, because I'm not a millionaire. I haven't come close. I don't think I've spent on any one game more than about £100 over the course of its lifetime. I genuinely can't do it. Maybe Elder Scrolls Online, because I did pay the subscription fee of like £7 a month, maybe for like 14, 15 months when that's all I played, but I never bought anything else. Can you count that? I don't know. I never bought packs on FIFA. I might have put maybe 25 quid into eFootball. I don't know. All Boober's money goes into his Lambos. Well, have you seen the price of fuel these days? Of course it is. Of course it's going into that. It drinks it like nobody's business. So yeah, anyway, moving swiftly on. We've talked enough about Diablo. What shall we go through? I'll tell you what, I haven't got any news in here from. I feel like it's old news now, but the state of play from last week, as I'm scrolling through, obviously because it's been like 5 days since it's happened, it's all the way down the list, and I wouldn't never go that far down because it's 5 days old, and we want new news. But I haven't actually got any state of play news. Resident Evil 4 being remade. Fantastic, add it to the collection. Hopefully the story will be a little bit better than the original one, but hey-ho, who knows? All Baby's money goes into his garden and his hair. True. Well, it doesn't cost that much for both of them. It costs less than a night out, put it that way. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. You see my WhatsApp messages coming up. You don't want to see any of that. Anyway, let's start with this one. Let's go in with this one. This one. There we go. So I'm just having a quick swig of my brew. Let's take the lid off. I'll burn my face off. All right, so written on VGC by Chris Scullion, he states that Nintendo will not be at Gamescom this year. It has confirmed the German Expo is returning after a 2-year break. Nintendo has confirmed that it will not be attending Gamescom this year. In a statement to Games Wirtschaft, a Nintendo of Europe spokesperson explained that the company would not have a presence at the Cologne show this year. Gamescom is a key event in Nintendo's calendar of events, a statement reads. This year, however, after careful consideration, we have decided against participating in Cologne. Instead, players will be able to try out these games on the Nintendo Switch at numerous events throughout Germany. Events have been firmly scheduled so far with the road shows in the Airstream aboard us and VW Bully, for example, at locations such as SWR Summer Games Festival and the Stuttgart Children and Youth Festival. For Japan and video game fans, we have decided to participate in the main Matsuri Japan Festival in Frankfurt, as well as the Dokumi Dusseldorf and the Animagic in Mannheim. Christ, they're tripping me up with everything today. Further bus stop tours and activities are being planned. Viv!
I scream uploads. Up, 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 up.
Wow. No, that was not the records getting stuck. That was genuine. I didn't need to buff the CD or anything. That was Viv's. That was Viv's message. Oh my God. People are going to be driving down the road thinking, has my phone crashed? Wow. Thank you, Viv, for your subscription and your very, very kind message. I scream up, loads, up, up. Up. Fantastic. Anyway, moving swiftly on before we get any more messages like that. Gamescom will be set to take place from August 24th and the 28th. Will be a hybrid event held on site in Cologne and simultaneously online. The event will launch at Gamescom's opening night live on the August 23rd, and will then open to trade visitors and the press content creators on August 24th, ahead of 4 days of public access tickets holders. On top of the main businesses and entertainment areas of the convention, Gamescom 2022 also promises additional sections, including for cosplay, retro, and indie fans. However, it is not clear yet as to which companies will be attending the event. At this time of writing, only a handful of publishers, including THQ Nordic and Koch Media, have confirmed their attendance. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do genuinely think that this is a shame, and I'll tell you for why. When I went to Gamescom, they had the Nintendo. It was genuinely like one of the biggest stages there. It was fantastic. It looked well nice. Was it the Treehouse? Is that what they call it? I feel like they did a live broadcast from there, and the stage was beautiful. It took up a lot of room, and there was a lot of people there waiting to play all the new Nintendo games. And I do feel like having the area that they take over not there again this year will be a massive loss. I don't know what is going to be taking over that area, if it's going to be something that's just as big, but having something as big as that being missing from the event is going to be a shame. However, they've got other places this year that they will be attending. They've already set their marketing budgets up by the looks of it, and it looks like they will be attending a lot more throughout the year. So people who can't go to Gamescom will still get the opportunities to be able to play their games, as well as the as well as them being released online for people to be able to try at the same time. So it seems like they've got a lot of bases covered with this. It is sad news, but at the same time, I don't think anybody is losing out with this, apart from obviously the people who was going to the event that wanted to go to the Nintendo stalls. That is obviously going to be a little bit of a bummer, but yeah, I don't think this is the end of the world, albeit it's going to be a massive loss in terms of the size of the areas which they tend to cover. Or that they've covered in the past anyway. But moving on. Which one should we go with next? Let's go with this one, because I feel like this could be a nice little talking point. So, written on Unfiltered Loop. I think this was Tito that supplied this one late last week. Obviously, in time for us to be able to go live with the non-episodes of the scoop that we had towards the end of last week. But anyway, confirmed 2K Sports, FIFA in advanced talks to complete the licensing deal. Written on June the 4th, which was obviously 2 days ago. When did you supply this one then? Unless it's been updated at that time, because I feel like it was a little bit longer than that. But anyway, according to metro.co.uk, which is a UK paper for anyone that doesn't know, 2K is in advanced talks to purchase the license that was previously held by EA Sports. Football video games are about to undergo a huge transformation, with EA Sports FIFA video games may be near the end of their run. It still isn't official yet, but the two companies have stated that the end of their partnership could be imminent, bringing to an end a partnership that has been synonymous with success for decades now. Another major and wonderful firm, 2K, is about to play a key role in that breakup, since it's highly interested in since it is highly interested in purchasing the services of the licenses that EA Sports has now to create the greatest soccer video games with all the licenses and the most realistic gameplay modes. Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of 2K, along with the rest of his company investors, is one of the persons watching the situation intently in order to get into his profitable deal. When asked about this, Zelnick decided to talk about another one of his big products, the soccer platform game Top 11 from developer Nordeus, rather than answer the question. And he states that we are delighted to have Nordeus in the Take-Two family. He is hitting it, and Top 11 is a great and much loved title. I couldn't be more pleased to be in the Football Manager business through Top 11 with the Nordeus team. On the possibility of acquiring the FIFA license to launch fully into production of this new video game, Zelnick left things up in the air. It's a great step forward for us. We have not been in that sport before, and I think it'll have to be it for today. There's also been discussions between developer and FIFA, albeit the difference between the two ideas are purely financial, since the International Federation seeks to get more money for its name than it did in its previous partnership with EA Sports. It's too early to tell what will happen, but if 2K Sports does develop a football video game, it promises to be an intriguing scenario. NBA 2K is widely regarded as the best and most realistic sports video game. In 2022, 2K surprised us with FIFA 2K23, a new soccer video game that might usher in a new era. Who knows? Perhaps only time will tell. So, ladies and gentlemen, two questions that kind of come out of this. The first one: are 2K creating a football game simulation? I don't think they are. I feel like if they did, they would have already had it done by now, and I feel like they would have probably got the license to tack on top of it a while ago, even though it hasn't technically finished with EA Sports yet. I do feel like these discussions would have been up in the air for a while. The top manager thing, I'm not sure. Do I think that the game would profit from having the FIFA license on it? I don't think it does. Has anyone played Top 11? I think it's a half-decent football manager game. Football Manager does it obviously way better, but this is obviously a live football manager game. There is another game out there called Soccer Manager that has an offline and an online element. I do play that game every single day. I have a league with 3 of my other friends. We're all in that together. Having FIFA in a 2K game or a 2K mobile game that is Top 11, I don't think has the pulling power that they want. They want a fully fledged footballing simulation game with that name tacked onto it. But do I think that they've got one in the pipeline? No. I think, again, it probably should have been a while ago. You've got other football games now that are on the market or potentially coming out to the market, which is Goals, Strikers, and UFL, alongside FIFA and eFootball. it feels like we're going back to the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era, doesn't it? Where there is so many different football games on the market. We had like Chris Kamara's Street Soccer, This Is Football, David Beckham Soccer, Alex Ferguson Player Manager, LMA Manager, UEFA Champions League, insert year here. Do you know what I mean? Like, there were so many football games then. Red Card. Do you know, I could literally sit here naming them all. FA Premier League Stars. I genuinely could sit here ringing out football games for you. But I feel like we are getting back into that point again where there is going to be a lot of football games coming out. There will be some that will be absolutely arcadic football games, and then there will be some that are simulation. Trying to blur the lines between them is a bad move, in my opinion. You can't really have both. You either have a game that is based purely on what you think football should be, and then a game that is over the top and a spin-off with something like Mario Strikers, which, by the way, me and Graham have confirmed the loot drop will be going live today, and that will be the prize. We just haven't got the asset out because it's been bank holiday and we've had a lot of other stuff with the subathon, blah, 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 secret project on the background as well. That is the prize. If you don't have a Switch and you are still a sub, you can choose a different game. But Mario Strikers is going to be the prize that will be taken out of the hat for you guys today. That will be done. It's 2:15 now. It might be 4 or 5 o'clock this evening when we end up pulling out the winner. You'll be notified on Discord if you are already in our Discord. If you're not and you're a sub, then what the hell are you doing? You'll have 48 hours to be able to come and collect your prize from in there. We will announce it in there. If you don't collect it, it will roll it onto the next person. Simple as that. But anyway, that is the prize this month. Mario Strikers. Boom. There you go. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the only way that this FIFA license will work is if it's acclaimed to a simulation version of a console game. PC as well, obviously. Or Steam Deck, if you're asking. Mike says, no thanks. I've seen someone point out that the 2K currently have NBA fans aren't overly pleased with the products. Anyone who's played a WWE also knows how buggy it is. And along with that, there is no chance they would have a game ready for 2K23 unless they have known for years that they were getting the license. I agree with that. I don't agree that NBA fans aren't overwhelmingly happy, overwhelmingly disappointed. I feel like everyone who I've spoken to that is an NBA fan are quite happy with the product. They do feel like there's a lot of room for improvement. I'm not going to disagree with you on that part, but I do genuinely feel like whatever NBA do is probably that is the Mount Rushmore of what people should be doing in terms of you can go around the city, you have a pretty much unlimited game mode to be able to do. Like, I feel like what football games should be doing is aspiring to what NBA do, but better, and obviously work within a footballing realm. That's essentially it. I wish golf games had that. I wish other sports games had that. It would be amazing to have NBA style aesthetics within any sports game, whether or not you are playing a football game and you can go around and play in a 5-a-side. Do you remember the 6-a-side pitch that used to be next to Findell? Imagine being able to be me virtually walking down to the 5-a-side pitches and just having a kick around on AstroTurf. That would be sick. Like, why haven't we got that in any football game? Why haven't we got that in Here's $1 million idea, golf game. Set in the NBA neighborhood or city or whatever it's called. You create bib. Absolute king at missing 3-foot putts. But you are in a county, you're in a borough, and there's 17 different golf courses. Or one might be a links course, one might be a town course where you just got really high trees, one might be full of water, and you can just travel to all these different ones, resetting your handicap or whatever it is. That is the dream when it comes to a golf game. If we can get that, fucking great. Do you know what I mean? That'll be amazing. But I feel like NBA is the gold standard when it comes to creating narratives, creating a game. There is obviously going to be improvements, and obviously the WWE thing as well. I do genuinely feel like this WWE game is the best WWE game we have had in forever. Like, I think it's fantastic. I do feel like there is some areas, like, no game is perfect. Here Comes the Pain isn't perfect. No Mercy is definitely not perfect. But they were the best games of a generation. I do feel like we have already got to a point where 2K23 WWE is probably one of the best of the generation. I know it's not been a difficult one because the PS5 and the Xbox Series S has just come out. But I feel like these are turning points within a generation. And you can't ask for much more than that when it comes to sports games, or any game for that fact. Generational games make other games better because that then becomes the gold standard. It's no coincidence that games like The Last of Us that came out at the very end of the life cycle of a console was probably the best game on that console, because they've taken all the learnings from all the other games around them and then made a game that is now going to be remastered probably for the third time, because it was so good. And I don't think it's daft to say that. I don't think this is the elephant in the room. I do genuinely feel like the games that are being created now, people looking around and go, let's take out the best of that, put it in ours, we'll do it a little bit better. That's how video games should work. You shouldn't rest on what you've had for the last 5 years and then hope that people will pick up your next edition. That's video games. If it's not working like that, it's probably not going to last forever, essentially. Olympic soccer, yep, absolutely. NHL, who did the Rock the Ring as a spin-off type game where it was just fighting. Christ. Tino says, will I get a Switch to go with it? I'm lost with that. I don't. That's been referred to something that I probably talked about 10 minutes ago, so I'm gone. Go play some pitch and putt with the boys. I personally think Madden is the best franchised game, gold standard. I feel like they've got a significant side story mode, which sports games miss a lot. Oh, the loot drop. Sorry. Yes. Do you know what I mean? Because I went on a golf rant for about 5 minutes there, so everything else just fell out my head. Where they change your path. Yeah, I agree. Again, I've not played. I'm going to be brutally honest here. I don't think I've ever played an NFL game. They don't interest me. American football is not my sport. Same with basketball, but I did enjoy playing NBA. I was dog shit at it and ended up installing it after like 3 months because I just couldn't get to grips with it. I'm pretty good at being able to pick up a controller and be half decent at a game. That, can't do it. I've tried many, many times. I probably will never play another NBA game again unless it's something of the NBA ilk. NBA Playgrounds, love that. I can play that. It's like 3 buttons. Do you know what I mean? Pass, shoot, tackle. Bosh. What more do you need? I'm happy with that. But when it comes to doing all the dribbling aspect and sidestepping and shooting from distance and then passing at the right time and then... Nope, too complicated for me. Don't need it. Yeah. Okay. No, you're not getting a Switch to go with it, which is obviously where the game of your choice comes into it as well. So if you have got a game in mind and you end up winning it, let us know what it is and we'll get that for you instead. Well, Mario Strikers is out this week, as far as I'm aware. So it's definitely one that we do want to obviously give to you guys as well. I think it will be a pre-order, or we'll just order it free on Friday when it comes out. But anyway. Mike says, I play NBA, but I feel stagnant for the last few years. They have just updated how Playground looks and I haven't really offered anything extra. I mean, Playground works for the most part. I feel like Playground is the gold standard when it comes to that. For someone who doesn't play it at all, and from what I've played of it, I really did enjoy being able to just glide around on a skateboard and go down to the shop and buy some new Adidas gear or some new Under Armour gear, and then just hop onto any of these courts around the city and just have a game of 2-on-2 or 3v3 or something like that. I love that idea. I think that could definitely work in a lot of other sports games as well, especially football/soccer if you're American. That would be amazing if you could just literally just hop on a scooter or hop on a skateboard and ride to your next football pitch and just knock about. Like, there could just be 4 of you, like you want to play 4-a-side with your mates, pro club style, and you're just rocking up to all these different types of courses, these different types of pitches, where if you're playing indoor, you're playing with a giant tennis ball. If you're playing 5-a-side on AstroTurf, you're playing with a size 5 Casey. You're playing on 11-a-side pitch, you're obviously playing with a size 5 Casey. Like, there could just be different variants, like the ball bounce is different in, what's it called? The indoor one that they play in Spain all the time. Want to say salsa, it's definitely not that. Can't remember the name of it, but it's the one that they play indoors. It's got quite the 7-a-side nets. I can't believe it's gone out of my head. One of you guys will probably get it, but do you know what I mean? Like, you're playing with different types of football in these different environments. I do feel like that is the next generation. Futsal, that's it. Well done. Cheers, Ian. Futsal, yeah, that kind of football. I would love that to be the case, and I do feel like that is the next generation of football games, that you can do that, where you basically just living in a pro clubs world. That would be sick. But we'll see. I don't know if anyone will be able to get there. I feel like it will be a lot of coding. I don't think it would probably work for an edition of a game. I feel like it probably would be a live service game. There was a football game many, many years ago called Superstar Strikers or something like that was on PC, where it was just an MMO football game. You created your player, you'd go on trials at different places, you go and play 11-a-side. It was a thing. It was okay. I don't think it was that great. I definitely didn't play it all that often. Definitely could have been a lot better, but again, there's a lot to do in this. A true footy RPG would be better, would be awesome, says Tito. Fatman Dave says, I thought they did it with football with FIFA Street. I loved FIFA Street. I also loved, not this season, but the last 2 years of Volta. I thought that was amazing. But this year, I don't know what they did to it. It definitely just didn't have the same vibe. But FIFA Street was a different kettle of fish in terms of... Have I even got it on my shelf here? I know I've got it, but I might have took it into the office to beat Jamie at it. No, I haven't. It's the one with Messi on the front of it. They remade it in, I think, the year 2012. Might have even been 2013. And I thought that was the best. It played, rather than it being cartoony, they actually put the FIFA engine into FIFA Street, and then you just played normal football on different areas of the world, playing against different people. If you beat them, you got to take one of their players. They'd give you objectives to be able to do, like nutmeg someone 3 times and you get Messi or Kaká or something like that. That was mint. Absolutely love that. They tried evolving that into Volta and it was very successful for 2 years. This year, I think it probably killed itself with how shit the modes were and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked about Volta enough on this channel, and I feel like we're waffling on now. I'm just going to read this last one because I feel like we've gone a bit too far. It says we've been live for 55 minutes. We've probably been alive like 45. Alive? I've been alive 31, mate. Do you know what I mean? Level 31. Well, we'll read this last one. We'll save the next one for tomorrow because I do feel like that'll be a very good topic of debate. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You'll find out tomorrow when you come back. Well, let's move on to this last article for today then. To absolutely nobody's surprise, this has been written on the Gamer by RHIANNON Bevan, and she says that Blue Box insiders say that Abandon doesn't actually exist. Who would have thought this? A video game that has been teased 1,000,001 times, that has had some mad speculation about it, apparently doesn't actually exist. And they say that Abandon is a game wrapped in mystery. When it first came up on everyone's radar, it was assumed that it would be the front for a new Hideo Kojima game. And it's a conspiracy theory that developer Blue Box Studios seems to lean into, making it all the more disappointing for someone when they turned out that Abandoned isn't actually a new Silent Hill game. As we know now, that honor is going to the Blooper team. That's a weird place for any studio to find itself in, especially as an indie game hasn't shipped a game yet, and now it's only getting weirder. Abandon does not actually exist at all. This is at least according to some sort of sources close to the project that's spoken to GameSpot that have accused Abandon creator Hasan Karaman of mismanaging and misleading the public about the state of the game. Abandon was originally planned to launch in 2021, however, according to sources close to Karaman, the survival game doesn't actually exist. They also say that the game's not actively being worked on and that they have been told in private that development is on hold. Interviews with those close to the projects have apparently revealed that Karaman is a development on hold until he can secure further funding. In the meantime, his priority is to release a playable prologue, yet the source says that it doesn't seem to be in a hurry to create this either. Karaman is also said to have dropped the once promised multiplayer aspect of the game, although he has not mentioned this publicly. This apparent lack of progress can also be seen how little Karaman's inner circle has seen of the game. According to the report, a group chat comprised of selected member of abandoned Discord servers has only seen screenshots, animations, and a single page of the script. Fans who ask questions about the game progress would reportedly be kicked from the group. On top of this, Karaman is said to consistently meet deadlines to reveal more content, including missing 3 opportunities to show Abandoned off last summer, even at Gamescom. As of what Karaman wants from Abandoned, may feel that it's been derivative of Kojima's work, further leaning into the conspiracy theory that put him on the map. For example, a new plot point would see the game centre around a 4th wall-breaking AI. A leaked piece of audio features some poorly translated Japanese, which sources cite as evidence of Kojima Karaman's inspirations. However, the fans don't know what will actually look like. As per the report, they have also seen a good look at the game and have only seen in-game walls and nothing more. Of course, this prologue was promised to be available to public early in the public in 2022, but that has also come and gone. On top of all this, was revealed about the state of the game. Many in the report also accused Karaman of toxic behaviour. Head over to our separate report, blah, 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 blah. Head over to our separate report that gives over an overview of everything the source alleges about Karaman's actions in the private group chat. I genuinely thought it would go on to say what happened between Kojima and stuff like that as we go along. But anyway, it looks like the abandoned game has been abandoned. Did we honestly feel like this was going to be anything else? I think the biggest concern we had was when they dropped the little prologue thing and it was just full of placeholder text and a trailer that led you over to a YouTube channel, nothing else. I feel like that should have been the red flag right there. Yet, here we go. We have a game that has probably now been abandoned. Shockingly. I don't think we'll see anything else from it. I'm shocked, I tell you. Shocked. Well, not that shocked, says Tito. I'm going to save this as a command to say next time. Have it. Exclamation mark, shocked. Add command, shocked. I'm shocked, to tell you. Here we go. There we go. Ice Cream Uploads. Graham, is that skiving again? No comment, Your Honour. Tito says, scam game, sold out using techniques is a scam. Yeah, I mean, leaning into the Kojima thing to try and build up enough buzz around it did actually work for him. It did actually work for him for a long time until he obviously had to come clean to say that it wasn't a Kojima game and it wasn't Kojima that was behind it in the first place and it was just him and his team. But obviously it seems like it's gone down the Swanee now and they don't have a game to show anyone. Surprise, surprise. Considering this has been delayed twice already, they should have at least have had something to say. This game should have come out and then it's been delayed twice. They should have something to show. And they haven't got anything. So let's just say that this game is now dead and we move on with the world and we don't give Abandoned any more information or any more airtime because I don't think it deserves it. It's shown us nothing to get us excited apart from the initial, oh, is this a Kojima project? Oh, is he going to have something to do with it? Oh, look at that. The sky looks pretty sick and there's some fireworks going, no, not fireworks, lightning going off and stuff like that. This looks pretty cool. And then you find out that it's just some bloke who's just tried to lean into as many different memes as possible to try and sell his game, which usually there's nothing wrong with that if you've got something to back it up with. And unfortunately, this gentleman has got nothing. He's got nothing. Nothing. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that is it for today. We very much appreciate you jumping in on this Friday afternoon. We will be back from the studio live at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. It's definitely not going to be 10 a.m.-ish because I'm literally... Well, we don't even know what the studio looks like at this moment. As I mentioned before, the meeting room was getting sorted out today. It should be finished. That doesn't mean to say that there hasn't been any hiccups. The studio could just be full of shit at this moment in time. I don't know what it looks like, but we'll obviously give you updates as and when we can tomorrow. Friday afternoon. Did I say Friday? Did I genuinely say Friday? I meant tomorrow. Tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So I apologise for that. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I did put the stream schedule up, so you should be able to see that on Twitter. It's probably a dollop tomorrow too. I've got a multiple of interviews and that. Exactly. There you go. So yeah, it probably will be just me at whatever time I can get into the studio and get everything sorted out for you. As I said, the subathon will be going live this weekend, so that is kind of a small little priority to make sure that everything else will work for the 24 hours potentially. Again, I don't think you guys will be able to sort that out for us, but it's there. The option's there for you to be able to do it. And then obviously there's going to be some interviews and stuff going on around the day too. But you guys have been legends. Thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any video game news that you want us to talk about tomorrow, you know the vibe by now. There's two ways you can do it. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads on all major social media platforms, or get us on our Discord. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We'll then give you our thoughts and impressions at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. It's probably going to be around about 12 o'clock, if I'm being honest, because there is a lot of things that I need to get boxed off before we go live tomorrow. Stick around, though. We'll send you over to one of our friends. Wes says, want to interview me. Give it a miss, mate. I'll give it a miss. There's no way that I'm sat next to you talking about eggs all day. It's bad enough to sit next to Graham all day. Do you know what I mean? Can't get a word in edgeways. But yeah, we're going to send you over to one of our friends. Do stick around because you will be able to get your sprinkles. If you want to become a mod VIP, go in a Hall of Fame, all of that jazz, you'll need sprinkles. And what better way than to go over and see one of our friends who I am yet to pick from the list. But do, obviously, go over. Just say hello. Even if it's a flying visit, saying hi and bye, it doesn't matter as long as you go over and you just say hello. It's now always nice to spread some nice, unfestive cheer here in June. But as always, guys, take care of yourself, and tomorrow we'll see you then. And as always, stay frosty.